stop it. What's going on? Mike was muted. Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? It's a little bit late getting the stream set up today. Can you do me a favor, turn on the light? Actually, hang on. All right, a little late getting the lighting and everything set up, but anyway, how are you guys all doing tonight? Welcome to Mondays with Max. I am Max Voltage, your host for the next, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, something like that. Good to see you all. Let's see who is here. Do a quick roll call. Geek of all trades. Good to see you, sir. Mining of the North. Second TL. Alexander Fleener. DJ Mines. About $29 richer, something like that, after doing his his stream tonight on his DoorDash escapades. Kyle Rogers, Canadian Miner. Crypto Hunter, Hilo Crypto, Crypto Crag, No Excuse, Bacon, Eggs, and Hash, S. Chang, thank you for being here. 4J. Let's see who else is here. Solar Miner, good to see you. Brian Hollywood, how's it going? Integra Guy, Toxic Miner, Real Living. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight. Is anyone mining Dynex? King Mining. Power Mines Crypto. Good to see you, sir. Tains. Burn. Reyes Mining. Galaxy 9 Synthesis. Blue Dragon. Good to see you, sir. Hobbyist. Present. Yeah, you in the back. Pipe down. Northern Prospector. Cincy Miner. Allset Miner. And of course, the infamous Sunflower Mama is here. Actually, got a little bit of an update there as well. And I think I hit on everybody. If I didn't, I apologize if I missed you, but I thought I hit on everybody. So I'm still playing around with this EVMux software or website. And that's what I've been doing my live streams through, which I really like. But as you may always know, is that Sunflower Mama was like, close your window, do this, do that. So now she has the ability to, we both have the ability to do things on the stream. So she can highlight a comment that is up there without me intervening. And so hopefully she will add some value. Well, she will add some value to the stream. So I appreciate her assistance. And I'm sure she's frantically typing something because she feels, I think, unprepared because we did this like right before the stream. But I've been planning this for a while, trying to figure out exactly how it worked, but finally figured out how it worked over the weekend. So that was one of the things I did over the weekend. I did a little bit more research with EVMux to figure out exactly how to do certain things. And so I did that. See, she has control as if she didn't have control before. There you go. Anyway, all right, that's enough. You can take that off the screen now. Anyway, all righty. Well, let's hit on some of the topics for tonight. Obviously, man, the banking thing is going a little crazy. Certainly hitting some banks that are relevant to crypto relatively hard. First, you had Silvergate, and obviously then you had SVB, and now you have Signature Bank. So let's go over each of those. We didn't talk about Silvergate. Well, I guess it's been since last Monday. What am I talking about? It was last Wednesday when Silvergate thing came out. So both Silvergate and Signature Bank, how are those related to crypto? Those are related to crypto in the fact that they are important banks, crypto-friendly banks that help to bridge between crypto and fiat. So not all banks are that friendly to do that, but these two banks were, and now they are no longer. So, that reconciliation going back and forth other banks will have to, or exchanges will have to find other companies that will do that service for them. I haven't heard anything like really bad, like, oh, this is going to be affected or anything like that. But certainly taking two banks out of the system that were enabling this is not a good thing. And then of course you have SVB, which, you know, what really happened there and what effect did it have on crypto? Obviously, USDC depegged, which was kind of a very flip reaction because, you know, Circle was very upfront and said, yep, we've got 3.3 billion in SVB. And I don't know if it was all the headlines that just took that out of it and went, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Yes, it is, but it was less than 10% of their cash reserves. So while it's not good, because yeah, maybe if they have like around 8 or 9% in there and they no longer have access to it, so therefore, you know, USDC is not backed 1-for-1 anymore. Yeah, that could be of great concern. But again, this isn't anything like the Luna scenario where you're going to depeg to a huge amount. So, you know, in fact, let me see here. Oh, well, Brian Hollywood. That's the one thing about, oh, there it is. Thank you, sir, for the $10 super chat. I very much appreciate it. Sunflower Mama is priceless. Max Voltage. Yes, I am quite aware of that. And I appreciate you noticing. Yeah, I do notice that she made a point. I'm not sure if she made a point because it was a super chat or because of what you said. But either way, it's still true. Anyway, all right, let me create a new tab for USDC. It's basically pegged back where it was. So let me bring that up. So yeah, it's at 0.999. So in essence, it's back to its peg. So yeah, I mean, that's all a good thing. It was obviously last week, I had a lot of people very, very nervous about crypto in general with Silvergate and then with SVB with the depegging. So very good that we are back to the peg. So yeah, a lot of the things that happen, and I always look at this as a lesson because every time we see something like this happen and we see a very quick downturn in the market, but it's tied to a reason, not because of just overall market movement. This was due to a specific reason. Thank you, Mr. Alexander Fleener, for gifting 5 Max Voltage and Mining Crypto memberships. Very much appreciate that. Let's see who won. Let's see. Chuck Danger, partner in crime. Let's see. Taines, Toxic Miner. Mr. Baldini, good to see you. 4J. And Sadie sometimes. Cool. Thanks again. And I'm sure they thank you as well. So anybody who has not been a member before, that does give special access to a channel in Misfit Mining that is only for members. So do check that fairly often and do respond to anything that you might be asking me. So feel free to hop in there and ask me anything you want to ask me. All right, sorry, going back to the subject at hand. But I always look at that as a lesson that anytime we see these downturns in the market, you have to really think, is this a permanent downturn? Is this something that could be turned around, you know, quickly? And I looked at this as a buying opportunity. Now, I didn't have a lot of money to buy with, but yeah, I was definitely, you know, spending a lot of time on Freecash and using that money to invest in the market. Invested a little bit in Litecoin, obviously invested more in Flux. So I felt like I got some of it on fire sale below 60 cents. So was definitely happy about that. So, but yeah, I feel like some of it's a real story. It's not a non-story at all. But you know, I do have faith in our government that when it affects all of us equally, they will come through with a solution that will calm the fears, because nobody wants our economy to go into free fall because of something that happens in the banking system. Now, what's interesting is, and this is the part that really bugs me about SVB, is the fact that, you know, they were doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. They were investing short-term assets in long-term assets. So basically, they were taking short-term deposits and they were investing them in longer-term bonds. And in a increasing rate environment, that means that the value of bonds goes down. Well, in an increasing rate environment, the longer the term of the bond, the lower the price of that bond goes, given a 1% jump. You know, if you compare a value change in, you know, say a 3-month bond versus a 10-year bond, and they both change by 1%, yeah, that value change is going to be much greater on the 10-year bond than it will be on a 3-month treasury bill. So that's just math. So anyway, that's what killed them, because all of a sudden the word got out that they were getting downgraded by Moody's. I think it was Moody's that was downgrading them. They were going to downgrade them multiple levels. They managed to talk their way out of that, so it was only getting downgraded one level. Well, that created a run on the bank. They had to liquidate these longer term assets at significant losses, where they weren't going to have enough to cover all of the deposits. So yeah, it was a poorly run bank. They did something that they shouldn't have done, but it is what it is. But what gets me about the whole thing is that during the Trump era, and Democrats didn't do anything about it in the first 2 years of their administration, so they're just as much to blame. So this isn't about blaming one side or the other. It's just about timing of when it happened. The actual too big to fail definition changed. And when I say too big to fail, that doesn't necessarily mean that we were going to bail all these banks out if we didn't change that definition. That's not what it was. It was the fact that they were under greater scrutiny by regulators. They had to meet certain reporting criteria. Well, these banks lobbied against being part of that. They basically said, nope, we should have that definition raised to 300 billion. And that 300 billion only included the top 12 banks in the country. So all of these other banks went, phew, we don't have to worry about all this BS. Well, that BS would have stopped this from happening, because they would have been under that greater scrutiny. They would have had to have kept better, I don't want to say better books. That's not what it's about. But they would have been under the eye, a closer eye of regulators through just basic reporting. So let's see. I was instructed. We'll put it up on the screen. Let's see. Oh, Max Voltage. My mother-in-law is a financial advisor for Oppenheimer, and she said the small back stuff won't have any effect on anything if it happens to big banks. Worry. Yeah, that is true. The part that really bothers me about all of this is the big banks are like, yeah, they like it this way. And why do they like it this way? Because they can swoop in and basically save the day. Well, not really saving the day. They're making a bigger bank. And they can make a bigger bank by coming in and buying out these banks that are in a little bit of trouble. When the only reason why they're in trouble is because there's a bank run. SVB probably would have been fine if there hadn't been a bank run. They would have been able to weather the storm. They would have been able to, do business as usual until they could change their books. All banks have had some effect of this rising rate environment. I looked at my bank's books. I mean, looked at their financial statements, and they all report, the ratio, certain ratios, things like that. And while my bank looked really good, which is First Internet Bank of Indiana, it wasn't as good as it had been. It was slightly higher, but it was still well within the accepted norms of the ratios. I know one of the things they talked about was the Texas ratio. I'm not going to go into all the numbers, but I can tell you Sunday I dove deep because I was wondering, and if this does happen, these are the things that I think every one of us should consider. Yeah, not financial advice. But if we were to come upon some type of banking issue, like, hey, you're worried about whether or not you're going to have liquidity at your bank. Obviously, in this internet age, it's not that hard to open up another bank account. If you don't have a bank account with one of the banks that's too big to fail, you would want to do that and transfer some money in there so you'd be guaranteed that liquidity. And I say guaranteed, you're not guaranteed, because could a bank that's too big to fail run into issues with liquidity and things like that? It's always a possibility, but less likely because of their position as a bank that's too big to fail. So I happen to look into, hey, who's got the best deal on opening up a checking account? And just so happened that Chase did. They're paying $300. So I debated on that. I haven't pulled the trigger on that. I'm still maybe thinking I might do it, but just to get the $300, but it's somewhat of a hassle of direct deposit change and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, and then the other thing was going to an ATM and pulling out the maximum amount, at least for 1 day and maybe 2 days. So that way, at least you have cash. So these are some things that if things get worse, or if things ever get worse, I'm not saying they're going to get worse, but I think we may see a few more banks maybe have some troubles, just because these 3 banks brought all of this to the forefront, and now people are starting to question their own banks, which is a healthy thing. People should. Honestly, I took mine for granted. I mean, I was pretty sure that they were, in good financial standing, but I didn't know for sure. I knew when I opened up my bank account 20 odd years ago they were, but I hadn't looked at it, so I'd lost sight of that. So yeah, there's different tools actually on the internet of where you can actually see the rating of your banks. The problem with it is that they're not current. Like one of them that I looked at was like almost a year old. It was like second quarter 2022 was the last time the bank had been rated. So then I compared the financials back then to where they are now. And as I mentioned, where they are now is worse than where they were then. But again, it's all relative. Yes, everybody's financials have gotten a little bit worse because of that rising rate environment. It is harming banks. They do invest in short-term investments, and anything that is investing in interest rate bearing and in a rising rate, it's going to lose value. So anyway, but like I said, it was somewhat worse, but not significantly. So anyway, just a couple of things that I was looking at on Sunday. It was interesting. I mean, I find things like this fascinating, scary kind of, but definitely fascinating. And just trying to figure out, like, okay, what can the government do? What are their powers? What can they do to alleviate this? And why aren't they doing certain things? That was what was frustrating. It's like, my gosh, just say what you're going to do. Yes, you want a white knight to come in and buy out SVB. No kidding. Who doesn't know that? But if they don't, what are you going to do? And it was frustrating that it took them all weekend to figure that out. But they had a deadline. That deadline was Sunday evening, so they used every bit of it. And yeah, okay, now I'm going to get my politics out. But again, this is not one side versus the other. This is just politics. They all used it as a platform to talk about and make themselves look important. So Janet Yellen was on every single morning show. I was like, I would have much rather seen her not on there. Be like, release a statement and get to work. That's the way I am. That's what bugs me about all these, morning shows. When something really needs to get taken care of, no, you're out there talking. Stop talking. Get to work. Anyway, all righty. All righty. Well, thank you, Mr. Rondi. I appreciate the $10 super chat very, very much. Did you say there was another one? Oh, yep. Serpent X Tech coming in with $10. Appreciate that very, very much. Bail out my bank account. Well, if you needed to bail out your bank account, what are you doing making a super chat? Anyway, but thank you very much for those. I really do appreciate it. Red Panda in the house. Thank you, sir. Hope you are feeling better. Hope your family's feeling better. Anyway, did I catch them all? Oh, I was gonna say, because it looked like Hawk. Oh, there it is. Hawk with the $9.99. Thank you, sir, for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Alrighty. So I think I've kind of beat that one to death. I know everybody has beaten that subject to death, but it is an important subject, and it does affect all markets, not just stock market. It affects crypto market, it affects everything. So, like I said, I always look at these as learning opportunities, trying to figure out, okay, what can they do? So we just kind of deposit that away in the memory bank. And next time this comes up, we go, is this a time to buy? Everybody else is panicking. Should we be panicking? So anyway, there was something else that I was thinking about with somebody was relating this, something regarding this to the toilet paper. And I can't remember what it was. But anyway, we'll go by that. But anyway, alrighty. So one thing I do want to know is if you are mining Dynex, put a 1 in the chat. If you are not mining Dynex, put a 2 in the chat. And Mining King coming in with the big old super chat at $19.99. Thank you. Appreciate that. Mondays with Max for the win. Wasn't that an EVGA for the win? Anyway, thanks, Mining King. I appreciate it very much. Yeah, bacon, eggs, and hash. Every time Janet Yellen talks, it sounds like she's talking to her parents about keeping the car out late. I honestly don't really listen to her. I just read a lot, so I didn't actually watch any of the morning shows. Yeah. Anyway, but I spent doing a deep dive on this. And thank you to Patrick Guy. And I didn't actually see him come in. He may be here. Oh, okay, Patrick Guy. So thank you, Patrick Guy. He actually sent me to where is it? A guy named Meet Kevin. That's the name of the channel. He's a guy who's a little full of himself, but he has very, very good information. I like I said, his presentation style is, yeah, he's a little full of himself. Well, it's just put the way, not that he's full of himself. It's just that he thinks very highly of himself. Anyway, it rubbed me a little bit the wrong way, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I don't care. The information he is giving is very, very good. I did feel like he was a little bit of fear mongering at times, because he was just making some blanket statements. This is what I would do. And he was basically saying, get your money out of regional banks. And I'm like, no. Maybe you want to take a little bit out, diversify your risk. But to say, just get out of regional banks is a very, very bold statement. Like all regional banks are going to go under. That wasn't going to happen. That wasn't ever going to happen. Yeah, anyway, but I knew that those types of things are really, really easy. They did things back in 2008 to alleviate bank runs. They can increase access to the discount window. That basically is the ability to lend as much as you want from the Fed. So those are really basic things I knew that they were going to do. So I was not concerned at all about that part of it. Oh, Serpent X Tech, you're welcome. I was happy to hang out with you this weekend and hung out with Rabid Mining as well for a little while on Saturday. So yeah, that was fun. Like I said, this whole thing was just blossoming, and I just felt like talking about it. So yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity to blab. Usually not at a loss for words. Anyway, alrighty, let me see what else is going on in the chat. All right, so here we go with the ones and the twos. So I said one if you are. So let's see, how many ones do I have? 1, 2. Not very many ones. That's Chang with a 3. Always one in the crowd, as Chang. Always one in the crowd. Anyway, I'm actually going to be giving it a chance. I mean, if you've got AMD cards, I mean, what else are you going to mine with them? There's not really much. And Dynex is profitable. So I'm going to give it a shot with my 5700 XTs. See what happens. And but it is on Hive OS. It is a little bit more difficult to set up. Shoot, I wish I could remember the other guy that I saw his video, but do a search on Dynex Hive OS videos. You have to set up a custom miner so that it will download the SVB miner. That's what you need for Dynex. I know that Matt Electron has made some videos on Dynex. I don't remember if he did a how-to on how to set that up, but he has shown it. Like he had a video today where he was showing the new version of SRB miner that takes the processing requirement down quite a bit. So basically you won't have a high load average anymore. It basically took that and put it back on the GPU. So anyway, but yeah, if you didn't know, before the previous version of SRB, you needed to have a pretty good CPU. They were really recommending at least a 4-core, if not higher than that, depending on the number of cards you had. It was dependent upon a lot of things, but it was putting a lot of load on the CPU with the way that they had created this particular miner. And it did need to have AES ability, encryption. So anyway, so I'm going to be taking a look at that. Maybe not tonight. I've been meant to do it over the weekend, and the whole SVB thing blew up, and it really took me in a different direction. So anyway, but yeah, look into it. Check it out. There's plenty of videos out there. All right. What else did I say I was going to talk about? Of course, I went away. Teaspoon gave me a super chat? Teaspoon? Oh, it was. Oh, sorry. Jump Change with a $9.99 super chat. Love you long time. Yeah, I had to say that out loud because it was a super chat. Oh, dude. Man, that's worse than what Wooly does. But he gives super chats. Anyway. Oh, and then, of course, Teaspoon comes in with the $1.99 super chat and says, "Me love you little time." Anyway, hey, Teaspoon, when do you start your new job? 27. Oh, we already put it in here. Well, again, congrats. Anyway, I am not going to talk about my job tonight. Anyway. All right. What else did I say I was going to talk about tonight? I had a whole bunch of things. Well, let's go over the markets. That's a beautiful color green. I love that dark green when it comes up. That's a good thing. Anyway, so Bitcoin is over 24,000 again. So my prediction still stands. I had said that I still believe Bitcoin is going to be in the 24,000 to 30,000 range by the end of the year. We got a long way to go to see if that's actually going to take place. And that's a pretty broad range. So I won't exactly be, giving myself a pat on the back if it actually hits that range. But anyway, it's, I don't know, anytime it's above 24,000, I think, we're in pretty good shape, and, don't mind a little sideways movement. Gives us some time to, buy back into the market before we really start seeing the bull run that we all believe is coming in the next year or two. So Ethereum up to almost 1700, so that's a good thing. No, I am not going to the moon. I am not going to the moon. Crypto is going to the moon. So there you go. And it was a play on words. I don't think you guys actually got it because the honeymooners was even before my time, but to the moon. Anyway. And as I mentioned, USDC, well, it's come down a little bit, but it's still at 99 cents. So I think we're still in good shape there. But let's take a look at some specific prices. As I mentioned, I did buy into some Flux, so I'm glad because it's almost up to 70 cents again. I bought in some below 60 cents. So that was definitely a good time to get in. So anyway, let's see what Caspa's doing today. Now this one is down, but this one has kind of been counter the market. When the market took a big dump, Caspa went, whatever, didn't really do anything. So it doesn't seem to be moving in, you know, in lockstep with the market at all, which is kind of weird. Is it good? Is it bad? Does that mean it's manipulated? I don't know, but just something to be aware of. And then I was looking at Dynex price, which has been trading sideways for quite a while. So these were all 3-month charts, but it is up a little bit. It is at 8 cents. So anyway, just some interesting things out there. So as I mentioned, yeah, Sunflower Mama says, yes, for those that don't know, I am colorblind. Not a ton. There are different grades of it, different extremes. I am of the lighter or lower grade where I can actually tell difference. Everybody wonders, like, what does that mean? You can't see color? No, it means that certain colors look the same. So when you're getting a colorblind test and it shows a number or an arrow or an E facing a certain direction, all those kinds of things, you may be able to see it clearly. A person who's colorblind can't see it at all. So for me, I can get through a lot of those tests because you're supposed to be able to see a smooth number, but I can connect the dots because usually they're testing for multiple colors in that test. And I can kind of sit there and look at it and go, okay, what's the number there? Okay, I see there's a dot, there's a dot there, and then I can figure it out. But there's certain of them that I can't figure out at all. So anyway, color blindness is just the inability to distinguish the difference between certain colors. What's very interesting though is, at least to people that I've told this to, is I'm red-green colorblind, and there are certain shades that look the same. And people always wonder, like, okay, so if red and green look the same, you know, what's red, what's green? And I've said, I have a distinct impression of what red and green are. I do think that they are two different things. And if I think something's green when it's really red and somebody tells me it's red, it can shift in my mind, like, okay, now I can see it as red. I don't know how to explain it, but I have a distinct impression of what each different color is, even though I can't always tell them apart. Anyway, just people have found that interesting when I have said that. So anyway, but Freecash was fun this weekend, and actually last week. So I did DoorDash last week, decided I was going to do it. I signed up for it last weekend, thought I would wait until the weekend, and I was driving home on Wednesday. It was supposed to snow on Thursday, so I know I didn't want to do it on Thursday, and on Friday, I just want to get home on Friday. But Wednesday, on my way home from work, I'm like, yeah, I left work at a reasonable hour. It's dinner time. Let me knock this thing out. Just need to do 2 drives. So I did. And shoot, it was less than an hour, I think. And they credited me the 155,000 points, which is the equivalent of $155. So yeah, and I took that, and actually That I actually took and left it in Litecoin. I didn't actually translate that back to Flux. I just invested that in Litecoin. And then just over the weekend, I've been doing these betting sites, and I do not want to get into sports betting at all. Don't plan on getting into sports betting. And found out I'm not that great at it because I just need to make a bet, so I make the best guess. And sometimes I win, but more often than not, I lose. So, which is fine. The idea is that even if you lose everything of your deposit, you still win. So like this one on Saturday was PointsBet, and it paid out 85,000 points or $85. But you had to deposit $50, and you had to make at least 2 bets. The 2 bets would need to conclude, and you had to go through all $50. Okay. So I did that over the weekend and got my $85 actually this morning. So took that and actually invested that into Flux. But basically I got my payout in Litecoin. I have it go to my TradeOrder account, and then take the TradeOrder account, the Litecoin, put it into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin into Flux. So reason for that, instead of taking Bitcoin, believe had a fee associated with it, if I remember correctly, coming out of Freecash. So I found out I got more Litecoin than I got Bitcoin. So that's why I've been doing the Litecoin payouts instead. Gaming with Smokey Dan says, but how much gas petrol did you use during the DoorDash? Like dine in return cover the cost with a profit? So yeah, I mean, I didn't go very far. I only did, it ended up being 3 deliveries because the second one was a double. But I probably only did, I don't know, 10 miles, something like that. When I decided to do it, it was on the way home. So I'm driving, and to the left of me is a Chipotle. And when I decide I'm going to turn it on, it blinks Chipotle. So I take a left-hand turn into the parking lot, grab it. And actually was somebody else's that didn't pick up because I was technically late with the delivery because somebody else obviously had declined it at some point. So I picked it up, drove, I don't know, 4 miles away, something like that. And then where I was, there were a couple other restaurants. So drove a mile west, had to wait there for Chili's, and then picked up something from Subway across the main road. But there was a light there, which made it convenient, and then just turned off on a side street and drove down, and then made a couple deliveries there. So, I mean, 10 miles was probably the most, and I think it was like $17.25 or something that I earned. So I always thought whenever I drove for Uber, I always said, if I earn more than $1 a mile, I'm doing well. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like much, but you know, you're getting 55 cents the mile as far as a deduction, and that's significant. So if you're making $1 a mile, that's good. That's very good. A lot of times with Uber, because of having to drive so far even before you pick somebody up, that the number of miles you put on your car is actually sometimes greater than actually what you're earning. So yeah, you put more miles on your car doing Uber than you do doing DoorDash. So anyway, so you can probably make more money doing Uber because of the amount of miles that you're putting on it. There's more waiting around with DoorDash, so it's more of a time investment than a money investment in your car. So that is actually a really good thing for doing DoorDash or Uber Eats for that matter. One of the things I like about DoorDash is the fact that they seem to push the tips a lot more. They pretty much populate like a standard tip, and you have to remove it if you don't want to tip. Unfortunately, a lot of people remove the tip, but you know, it is what it is. But yeah, if you are interested in doing Freecash, there's a link down in the description. Check it out. If you can use my affiliate code, that would be great. Yeah, I'm right now, I think number 9 ranked this month on Freecash. So still have a couple things I haven't been paid out on, so I might have to send some proof in to get credit for those things. None of them are like huge dollar amounts. There's one that's actually two that are fairly big. Yeah. Patrick Ian says, I write off 70,000 miles a year. Ask me how good the deduction is. Oh yeah, it's definitely a good deduction. Yeah, when I was doing a lot of driving for Uber, it was a good deduction. I always think of Uber as a way of taking your asset, taking your car and turning it into cash. Yeah, you are taking the asset and you're burning down the value of it because you're putting a lot of miles on it, but you're turning that into cash. So yeah, I could go on and on about Uber. Like I said, I did it because I enjoyed it. I still kind of miss it, but being that situation I'm currently in, I'm not going to be going back to that anytime soon. But like I said, it is fun. I always used to say it put my faith back in humanity because the nice people I met driving for Uber was amazing. It really was. Anyway. Alrighty. Let's see. It is 9:01, so I've been going for 45 minutes already. Wow. Had no idea. Well, let me go through the chat here, see what I missed. Sure, I missed a bunch because I wasn't really paying attention. Caspa not on a lot of markets is bacon, eggs, and hash. Yes, that is true, but it is on Trade Ogre. So, yeah. So is Dynex, by the way. So keep that in mind as well. Although I don't know how liquid Dynex is on Trade Ogre. When I looked at it on like CoinMarketCap, it didn't look like there was a lot of volume. So I haven't tried doing a trade with Dynex on Trade Ogre yet because I haven't mined it yet. But I probably will be relatively soon. Oh, and Dupran is on here. Iowa Crypto Mining. Let's go check him out. Hang on. Shh. That's what I said too. Anyway. See if I can look him up here. There he is. All right, so let's all give Iowa Crypto Mining some love. He is at 22 subscribers, and he's already probably done more videos than I have. No, not quite, but but anyway, he certainly has done more videos than I have in the last 6 months. Not live streams, not included. But yeah, go check out his video. He's got some good information. I watched both of them. I particularly liked the one where he talked about planning for your crypto shed. Definitely thought that was some good information. Thought it was pretty cool that they actually replaced his transformer to give him more capacity. So yeah, it definitely has my wheels turning. My wheels are turning. But my electricity rate is going to go up to probably close to about 10 cents regularly come June. Although that's what it is right now. Because the rebate that we have has not been really doing much recently. Anyway, I've talked about that in the past. I won't go into that. Let's see what else. But yeah, I want to see his subscriber count get to like 50. Let's see if we can get to 50 people. Let me do the link. There we go. So go give him some love, people. He is up to 25. Come on, we can do better than that. We can definitely do better than that. Anyway, let me do a couple more shout outs. Crypto 440, New England Crypto. Appreciate you guys being here. Let's see, scroll down to the bottom, get some more recent stuff. Todd Tebow, thank you for subscribing to him. Appreciate it. Patrick Guyan's calling you out there, DePran. Let's see here. Let me see what else. Oh, no more custom miner needed for SRB miner. Oh, and welcome, CC. Haven't seen you around for a while. Good to see you, sir. Miss having you around, man. Or maybe I've just been missing you. One of the two. Anyway, good to see you. No more custom miner needed for SRB 2.2.1. Just saying. Did Hive OS come out with a version? A new version? Because if they did, I just looked at that a little bit ago. Oh, you are correct. They just added it. Sweet. Making it even easier. Well, damn it. Making it even easier. Don't want to make it that easy. But anyway, yeah, I will definitely probably be doing that then tonight. And if it doesn't work, I'll just put it right back. Not going to mess around with it. Definitely need to get some sleep tonight. But thank you. Appreciate you letting me know that. Let's see here. Yes, this afternoon. Okay. Yep, I see that. Everybody's saying they dropped it. So cool. All right. Which coin was SRB for? Dynex or Ironfish? I know it does Dynex. It does a lot of other coins. It does CPU mining as well. So it isn't necessarily just for one coin. So does it do Ironfish? It might. I know that Rabbit Mining, I did see that he put out a video on Ironfish. I have not looked into that project at all. You know me, I'm not one to like get in on the bleeding edge, which can be good and bad. I don't usually spec mine, so just not my style. Let's see. Ted says, so it said that 2.2.1 is still having CPU loading with NVIDIA, but really well with AMD. That is correct, actually. That's one thing I did see in the description. So for me, I wasn't planning on moving any of my NVIDIA cards. I was just going to be moving my AMD cards over because there just isn't a lot to mine with on the 5700 XTs. So I'm going to give that a shot and see how it goes. And then Big Scuba Diver says Ironfish delayed till April 18th. Wah, wah, wah. But that's sometimes how it goes. All right, Y2K Anonymous, welcome. So I've been asking and no one knows the answer. Who runs Dynex and where does the useful work go towards? That is a very good question, and I don't know the answer to that question. I'm just going to mine it and see if it's profitable. If it is, I'll be selling. I'll probably keep a little bit of a bag, just like when I start any new project. I will mine to probably about $100 worth, and then after that, I will then trade to what I want to trade to. So, yes, Crypto 440, you can mine Dynex on AMD. That is what I plan to do. Yeah, Power Mines Crypto. I saw you say that on DJ stream. Congratulations. That's awesome. See, those good things do come to those who wait. Hey, you definitely got something I don't have. That's for sure. Let's see. There is supposedly the main pool is not US based. I don't know exactly where it was, but there is one pool for Dynex that does have a US mining IP address. So to keep the lag from being too bad. All right, let's see. Thought there was one other topic that I was going to talk about, and I cannot remember. So now I'm going to have to figure out what it is. Wrong thing. There we go. And talked about that, talked about that, talked about that. I guess I have talked about all the subjects. So definitely deep into the AMA section. We'll go probably just another like 5-10 minutes. I was really tired leading up to the stream. I was dozing on and off actually pretty much since I got home from work. So, but got a call from work and that got my blood flowing. But anyway, all right, let's see who else we got. Weren't most streamers calling Dynex a rug pull waiting to happen? Yeah, there's definitely streamers or people just in general that to be streamers that whenever there's a new project, yeah, there's always a suspicion that it's going to be a rug pull. Hasn't happened yet, and I'm not mining a ton of it. And like I said, I'll do $100 worth, leave it, and then take it and sell it and move it to another coin that I want to hold long term. So that's been my plan all along. And you guys are talking amongst yourselves. Mine some 10. Good to see you, sir. Well, anybody have any additional questions? Hey, Crypto Crowd, this is not a political. Dems are not. Anyway, just kidding. But thank you. Yes, hit those likes. I didn't even look to see how many likes I've got. I never pay attention to that stuff during the stream. Just talking and paying attention to you guys. That's a really good question, Crypto 440. Has anybody figured out how to solo Dynex? I know I haven't. I'm going to pool mine at first. So Steven Cicero asks, what am I currently mining? So I am currently mining mainly Caspa, and I'm doing it solo. And I have had pretty darn good luck. Let me see if I can. Oh, I know what I can do. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, that's not there. Okay. Well, thank you, Iowa Crypto Mining, for becoming a member. I very much appreciate that. All right. Let me change screens here. Bring this up. And go there. Yeah, there's nothing doxing there. Okay, let me pull up the screen. It's got a portion of my wallet address, but not the whole thing, which is cool. I like this pool. So this is the pool I'm mining to. I know I've been not saying this in the past, but anyway. So if we look at my blocks, so my effort is 88% on average, which means I'm doing, significantly better than I'd be doing on my own. Yes, I've had some bad luck, like this 228%, this 209%, 133 wasn't great, but you can see overall the good times have offset those specific instances where that's happened. So right now, today, I've gotten 3 payouts from hitting blocks. And so far, I'm at 71% for my next block, which is fine. So anyway, so I've got pretty much everything on that except for my wife's computer, my computer, and my AMD rig. So I've got my son's old computer that I bought from him. That's why it has that name. But yeah, I mine with that down there. That's our workout PC that hasn't been getting used as a workout PC recently. So it is mining with a 3060. So eventually I probably will move my wife's computer and my son's computer to mining Dynex as well, because of the memory really helps. The memory is more important than the number of cores for Dynex. very dependent upon the amount of memory. So anyway, but yeah, still trying to figure that part out. And considering my wife's computer has a 6-core processor, as well as my son's computer has a 6-core processor as well. Mindsum10 says, are you pricing out building for proof of work yet? Proof of useful work yet? No, I am not yet. Kind of taking a wait and see approach on that. I believe that there will be solutions that will become available in the near future. The question is when, would it be worth investing in, say, a old Threadripper system, which has a ton of PCIe lanes. So you can get those, and you just need to get ribbon cables to go to all the PCIe slots. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people have done a lot of research into it yet. But I've been thinking about it, just haven't done. I've been assuming that 16 lanes are going to be required. Is the rumor out there. It's probably more than a rumor actually, but exactly what those solutions are going to look like in order to be able to do the proof of useful work remains to be seen. The other part of it is okay, so there's going to be proof of useful work, but what are the rewards going to be? I mean, honestly, I love the idea of practice nodes. Let's be honest, you don't want to be investing in expensive hard drives. It just isn't a great investment. You want to do it because it's a hobby and you just want to be one of the guys on the block that has a practice node. Hey, go for it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you are looking at it for the financial return of it, I think you'd be better off actually just buying the flux instead of buying the hardware in order to earn the small amount of practice that you would, the small amount of flux that you would having a practice node. So yeah, I know one particular person that has 8 practice nodes. I think it's cool. Like I said, I think he did it not necessarily just for the return, just because he thought it'd be fun and didn't cost that much, and he had the funds in order to do it. So more power to him. I think that's cool. So Mr. Chili, how are you? What is Flux? You're hilarious. For those of you that don't know, Mr. Chili is the WordPress guy over at Flux. So yeah, that's an exciting project. Can't wait to see that really hit full stride. Right now, it's training. Let's put it that way. It's training. Not at its fastest yet, but it's training. So it's getting there. Patrick Ian, been doing that research. I should have a video up hopefully soon. Wait, what? Patrick Guyan's gonna have a video? Anyway, hey, I'll be really looking forward to seeing that. So I appreciate that. So I know that I didn't get a chance to watch Hobbyist Miners. As I mentioned, a lot of times I'll come home from work and watch videos. I did have DJ's live stream up, and I was conversing on that, but then I started dozing on and off actually. But a lot of times I'll watch a bunch of different videos when I get home from work on Monday so I can talk about them. But I didn't get a chance to see Hobbyist Miners, but go check that out. He does talk about proof of useful work. So yeah, go check that out. All right, let me scroll down. We're going to be winding this down fairly shortly. So CC says only solo DNX on pool, not on node. Just add solo wallet address in your parameters. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually really similar to some of the solo pools for Caspa as well, because some of them did that as well. Instead of having a separate port, they would have the same port, but you just had to put solo in the front. So interesting. K-Spec, good to see you, sir. And I didn't say hi to Golden Wolf. I saw him earlier, so thank you, Golden Wolf, for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see here. I am Looking for questions. There weren't. Sunflower Mama says there weren't any questions. So on that note, I will let you. Jeffkey? Hola. You misspelled that as an H on the front. Only everything. What did he miss? Well, good to see you, sir. Appreciate you showing up, even though it is at the end. Nothing really earth-shattering or important, but you know me, I like to talk about things. Yeah, I actually did catch some of Flux as it dipped below 60 cents. So I was happy about being able to pick up some additional Flux at a lower price. I like that. Yeah, maybe we'll have you on sometimes. You can, when you guys have more information about proof of useful work and are prepared to talk about that. That would be great. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot. Flux, Cypherpunk. A date has been announced. A location has been announced. Jeffkey, do you want to say what the venue is? They've been holding the venue tight to the vest for whatever reason. But anyway, it is the last weekend of September, and it is in Fort Lauderdale. So I am not a tax advisor, Caseback. Not a tax advisor. I will say, do it early. Don't wait till the end like me. I still have been procrastinating doing taxes. And as I mentioned before, I have multiple people's taxes to do. So what I usually do is I'd be like, let me get my daughter's taxes out of the way. Let me get my son's taxes out of the way. Now they mostly do them themselves at this point. I'm just looking over them to make sure that they didn't miss something. But yeah, I will probably just help them first since their taxes are easy, and then do mine, and then do my dad's. And my dad's can be challenging. So you would think an old guy wouldn't have challenging taxes, but yes, he does. PowerMinds Crypto, Max, would you buy a 96 core processor for $12K? That would be one processor. All depends on what you thought about using it for. Would I buy that for CPU mining? No, that just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, just do the math. What's the hash rate? What would be the return? How much power does it use? And does $12,000? How long does $12,000? You know, what's the break even point of that? I have to believe at 12,000, that ain't gonna happen. But like I said, you're probably looking at one of the newer version. As I understand it, it's Cypherpunk. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, shoot me a DM when you get a chance, and then I can pop it up on screen. Oh, wait a minute. There is probably... Oh! Oh, wait a minute. No, I know you can't see anything, but... all right. Open in browser. All right, we'll bring that over. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. That's the wrong window. Hold on. One moment, please. Which one was the one I was using? I was using this one. There we go. I'm dragging. Oh, why did it do that? There we go. There we go. All right. Let me go back to that screen and add a scene. There you go. Cypherpunk 2023, powered by Flux, September 27th and 28th. The venue, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So it didn't specifically state the venue yet, unless the place is called the venue, which it might be for all I know. But yeah, definitely save the date. I'm pretty excited. My plan will be to be there. Short something happening. We'll probably drive down instead of flying. But yeah, looking forward to it, and hopefully we'll plan a little bit more time around that to be down there. So not just being down there for those 2 days.
There is a place in Fort Lauderdale called The Venue.
There is, really? Interesting. That's funny. So it is actually at the venue. Okay. Good to know. I did not know that. And then he sent me something else. Oh, this is a, hold on. I know, one moment. Can I drag that into here? We'll play that again. Cool. You have good marketing people. I love those kinds of things. So anyway, so yeah, definitely save the date. Honestly, can't wait. I mean, Misfit Mining crew has talked about that they really like Flux. We like the Flux team, you know, except for that Jeff Key guy. He's all right. Anyway, but I can't tell you, I'm so excited about going to this thing. I think it's going to be a ton of fun seeing everybody. Yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Oh yeah. How do I do that? Give me 1 second. I'll do it a different way. I will do that. There we go. Anyway, but yeah, definitely looking forward to that. So thank you for that information, Jeff. Yeah, I appreciate it. Oh, and that was an exclusive video. Woo! I'm the first one that showed it. Anyway, so anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, I'm giddy with excitement. It's a long way away though, man. It's gonna be a long summer to get to that. I don't want to wish my summer away. That's for sure. But definitely looking forward to it. All right. And I guess on that note, I will call it a night. And I appreciate you guys all for being here. And we will see you again next time on Mondays with Max. And don't forget, I will be on Saturday Night Live with the rest of the Misfit crew. Yeah, it all depends on the night. 8:45, 9 o'clock Central Time, 9:45, 10 o'clock Eastern Time is usually when we go on. But yeah, I'm not sure if everybody's going to be back from Florida, back home, or what for our stream on Saturday, but I'm sure there will be stories to share. That is for sure. So, alrighty, guys, thanks again, and we will see you next Monday and as well as on Saturday night. See ya.